So, good morning. This is my first presentation on the electrical and hybrid vehicle assignment one, which focuses on the vehicle review and its aspect on electrical loads that can be there in the vehicle that I have chosen. And my name is Hari Krishna, and I am from Powertrain Engineering background. I'll be presenting the topic for this electrical and hybrid vehicle assignment one based on the vehicle that I've chosen, which is the Maruti Suzuki Zen LXI, which happens to be a BS3 model and was produced. The particular vehicle that I've taken is actually produced from 2003 to 2006 manufacturing date. So, what is so special about Zen that I took it? Because it was one of the most famous cars in its segment, being so small and yet spacious in inside, and also resulted in greater maneuverability. So that is the thing that has to be put in the correct way. It had greater maneuverability, more features at that time of age, and better horsepower and torque when compared to its competitors, which made it swift during traffic and normal conditions. And so that is why I have taken this model. So as you can see, this is the 2003 to 2006 variant of the Zen. Zen has always been a famous model, and to put it, only one version of Zen actually came with a diesel. Rest of the things were fully made of fuel type of petrol. One came with a diesel option, which was called as the Zen D. But what I am focusing here today is the LXI's BS3 model, which is the third to the top model. That is, you will be having LX followed by BX, then LXI and BXI. I have taken LXI as the focus area in my today's presentation. So going on with the specification, what is the specification of Zen? So to put it in a simple factor, its engine is around 993 cc, which will be approximate and say it as 1 liter engine or 1000 cc engine, and it is a four-cylinder inline. So four-cylinder inline means, as you know, cylinders will be placed one according to other. In the inline mode, you have types of cylinder configurations, like you have flat, you have V type, and all W16, which we go for the biggest cars like Bugatti Chiron. So this is the normal four-cylinder, normal budget car configuration, which is a, okay. But today we have three-cylinder downsizing engines with turbocharger. But this is a very old car, so it is nearly 15 years old. So it was a four-cylinder inline car, and as I told you, fuel type is petrol, and it also had one model for diesel powertrain, and it was named as Zen D, which means D for diesel. And the maximum power for this particular petrol variant was around 60 bhp at certain amount of torque, which is at 6,000 rpm. So, and 78 bhp at 4,500 rpm, which means that you had to take a lot from this vehicle to get that torque, because you have to pump it up to 4,500 rpm to get that torque. And that is quite invisible, because it's not invisible, it's quite impossible, because this car had no tachometer in its age, and present vehicles are mostly are fitted with tachometers, but this segment car didn't have tachometer. There was just a speedometer, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, and minor details of distance and odo. It didn't have any tachometer. So what I'm telling is, it had 60 bhp at 6,000 rpm and 78 newton meters of torque at 4,500 rpm, and mileage as rated by Automotive Research Association of India was around 12.6 kilometer per liter, which is quite less, but it was sufficient at that time of age. And people used to go for petrol having a mentality that diesel engines used to be very louder, and there are chances of fuel clogging after not taking for nearly 1 month or so. So most of the people went for petrol, and even though diesel existed, the demand for diesel was very less, especially in this category of vehicle. If it had been an SUV or a bigger car, then you could have compromised with that. But since it's a very small car and it's a maneuverable and a city driving car, people just wanted to go with the petrol. And transmission is as usual 5 gears manual transmission, and valve configuration is SOHC, single overhead camshaft, and fuel supply system is multi-point fuel injection. As you know, what is the MPFI? You'll be having various multi-point fuel injection inside the cylinder, which happens to be the what to say, the advancement of what PFI is, port body. We had throttle body, where only one injector were there for all the four cylinders, and it was advanced to port body. Port body is that you have single injectors per what to say, cylinder, and that was what to say, upgraded to MPFI, multi-point fuel injection system, for especially for petrol engines. And we are moving on to the dimensions. What is the dimensions are like? You have length, which is around 3,535 mm, and width 1,495, height is 1,405, seating capacity was 5-seater, and you have ground clearance at 165 mm. That was quite low. That was one of the main issues of older cars, especially Zen, Honda Civic, because if it is in full load condition, the suspension actually depresses, and if you are going through rough road, it's definitely a nightmare because the underbody of the car definitely scraps to the ground. And wheelbase is 2335. What is the important thing about the wheelbase is, since it is a small car, the maneuverability was very easy, and it was very nook and corner, pick and point to move through traffic, and it was quite in that way. Curb weight is 765 kgs, and gross weight was 1190, and number of doors I told you, five doors it was. Going on to the suspension, brakes and steering, this car had it during that time. uh, the front suspension, I mean, like the front suspension of the car was McPherson strut type. Those were the times when McPherson started coming only to front axles because of the engine placement and weight and all the center of gravity which is assigned of the vehicle. So most of the cars had McPherson strut in the front axle for the suspension setup. Rear suspension, it had a 3 rigid link axle with a panhard rod for the stability of the vehicle during high speed turning or normal what is say maneuverability of high speed maneuverability. You need panhard rod to stabilize the vehicle from rolling over. And the steering type is power steering. It was one of the first vehicles in the segment to have a power steering vehicle at that budget range, and it actually started from it actually the top model went up to 5 lakhs during that time with most of the needed features that should be available in that segment of the car. And steering gear is rack and pinion. So steering type is power, steering gear type is rack and pinion. So rack and pinion was supported by using a hydraulic medium. So it was like a hydraulic power steering. So turning radius is just within 4.9 meters. And you had front dash disc brake at 236 mm disc brake, and rear you had drum brakes. That is still followed in today's low budget cars. I don't know why, but maybe based on the safety standard, it might get, because today we have many cars about 10 mark or even above, yeah, mostly about 10 lakh mark. We have four-wheel disc brakes, that too in particular segments, but most of the cars still today is just focusing on providing disc brakes at the front and drum in the rear. Hope it will get advanced too. And 0 to 100 takes around 17.5 seconds, and the top speed of the vehicle was rated at around 145 km per hour. And the VXI model, that the top of the line model, has just main two features in it. It had fog lights in front and rear, whereas the LXI model that I have taken for review didn't have that fog lights. And safety systems were central locking systems were there, power door locks were there. You had child safety locks in the door guard, where you will be able to only open it from outside. You can't open it from inside when you lock the doors. It was there. You had rear seat belts, door ajar warning systems were there. You had side impact beams for increasing the rigidity of the vehicle, and you had front impact beams definitely, while crumple zone, where maximum force during collision will be absorbed in the frontal part of the car itself, so that that force doesn't have to pass through or intrude the passenger cabin. So it is like sacrificing the frontal part of the car to save the passengers during collision. That was the front impact beams. And adjustable seats were there for driver. And check engine check warning, that was only the most safest system in the car, because nothing, because during that time there was no much sophistication on safety except the basic engine regarding things. Now what is the present state of this car? The car that I showed, like this Zen, this model actually was discontinued in its design only in 2007, with and an updated version of the Zen came, Estilo. Estilo came like a tall boy design, like our old Hyundai Santro and Maruti Wagoner, but due to its lack of attention grabbing ability, it was not able to hit the successful part after the old, like the old generation. Because from first, the Zen has been famous for its compact and durability and space, but when Estilo came, it wasn't so much appreciated by people in its design or the way it looks. So it slowly started lowering its efficiency. It actually slowly started becoming unsuccessful, and people's head turned towards Wagoner. And Wagoner became a very big hit after then Estilo got discontinued after certain years. So now moving over to the main part about the electrical loads. So the electrical loads that I was focusing about is the what to say, like generally electrical loads are definitely needed in a car to enhance the comfort, maybe convenience, or sometimes even the drivability of the vehicle, or which includes all the auxiliaries of the vehicle. So the vehicle that I have chosen is very old, 15 years. So there were very less electrical loads when compared to today's IC engine, hybrid electric or full electrical vehicle. So even though it is an IC engine, but it is very much not updated like today's IC engine also, and definitely not advanced like HEV or EV, which is actually being the upcoming trend in automobile industry. So this is usually we will take 14 volts for the 12-volt battery, because as soon as the vehicle starts, you will be having an what to say alternator power also to be supporting it. So 12 volt becomes around 14 volts, and that will be fed into the electronics. So first part is the engine management system, which has fuel pumps, injector, ignition system, sensors and actuators, solenoids and relay. Fuel pump injector, definitely, as I told you, MPFI, multi-point fuel injection, will definitely need electronics part, and the current that it takes is around 9.7 amps. That will be 2 volt. You will be having 135 watts of power is being consumed by it, because fuel pump injector, definitely multi-point fuel injection means based on the vehicle's throttle, the amount of fuel delivery will be changing, and that can be only controlled through electronic system. And as I told you, this is a 16-bit engine microprocessor vehicle. This vehicle's microprocessor is 16-bit, and followed by ignition system. Definitely ignition system lead large amount of current. Why? Because you are converting the 12 volt that you feed into 20,000 volt in the spark plug for the ignition of the car. 12 volt is not enough to ignite, to start the ignition, right? So 12 volt has to pass through a certain primary coil, which will spark due to the capacitance and capacitive discharge. It will create a high tension spark that will be contained and released based on the cam's motion, that will be passed over to secondary, and 12 volt becomes 20,000 volts, especially for this car, and that will be fed into respective spark plugs based on the distributor, and you will be having the ignition system working in done. Sensors and actuators is the basic thing. Sensors and actuators. Sensors and actuators is the basic thing that comes under this vehicle's maneuverability, and solenoids and relays, definitely for motors and all kinds of lights and all those things system. You have solenoids you will definitely have for starting system. So what is the starting system? It is a pinion that will activate with the flywheel and rotate the flywheel to start the engine, right? So solenoid actuator is the one that pushes that pinion gear to attach with the flywheel. So that is all the solenoids ability here. So as I told you, these are the things of the engine management system. Next is going over to the lighting part. Lighting part means uh, lighting exterior and interior parts. Definitely it has headlamps, which was rated at about 60 watt and 55 watts, and current was taken as 4 amps. Definitely based on the vehicle's maneuverability or amount of engine rotation that powers the alternator to recharge the battery, everything comes into play in this. And interior lighting is the small bulbs. It can be center locking lights bulb, or the like you will be having in the boot, you will be having small lights and all those things for many. That was 0.4 per bulb that was taking it. And the dashboard lights are to put it in more specific way, driver information lights. Instead of putting it as a dashboard light, I'll put it as driver information light. And that also has certain amount of current that has been taken. And this is running and parking lights, that you will be having hazard lights, like no, you will be having similar to what hazard light is, running and parking light for parking the vehicle, or to show that people that you are going in a particular direction without turning anywhere, or if your vehicle is met with an accident, to show that do not disturb, I'm going my path, just you can overtake and go, and all those kinds of signals and running and park lights are there. Next one is the body electrical. Body electrical, this was one of the only modern tech that was available in that car during the time of age, because power windows was only for front, there was no rear power windows. Only front power windows were there for the LXI model. And since it involves motors, definitely it will take much more current than what we have expected. So it was having 3 amps and power was around 42 watts, and followed by front wiper motor is also an inductive kind of load, and it will also be taking. And I would like to add that in this LXI model, wiper is as usual standard, it will be in front, but in VXI model, after certain I think around 2005, there reverse like not reverse, rear wipers also came into play in the following, the updated version of the Estilo Zen also. And that, since I'm not dealing with that, I didn't take that part. Multimedia and HVAC system. So multimedia and HVAC system is heating, ventilation, air conditioning system. Radio cassette. Radio cassette was actually an added part of the car because most of the Zen that came didn't have such type of thing. It was having only the basic FM transmitter. Then it was updated to radio and it was taking certain amount of power, 0.5 to 1 amps based on the tuning sections or volume that you play. Air conditioner, condenser cooling fan. Yes, air conditioner and heaters based on the engine's output, which runs a condenser. So definitely, it will definitely take high amount of power when compared to all other auxiliaries because you. Why you will be like why air conditioner is having from 84 to 126? It's based on the speed controller. You have the speed control like keeping it in 1, 2, 3 or high speed. So that is for air conditioner. Similarly for heater also you have the similar kind of architecture. And the speakers was 250 watts, 79 speakers with used, and that too it was not an what to say standard. We are actually adding it, and I have considered from one of the spare part shop, but this kind of 250 watt speaker is mostly used in Zen, Maruti Zen after as an aftermarket accessory. So I have taken that also into consideration. And electrical power steering system is like it has 9.1 to 98 power. That is means during this actually I got it from a scheduled service of Zen, and I'm not sure about it, like how much electric power it was actually taking for power steering. In that scheduled plan, it was given like 0.65 amps, but I think it is without any loads, without tires, because when jacking up the vehicle and testing its power steering capabilities, I don't think they'll take the weight of tires. I think that's why it is 0.65. To 7 is based on different types of road condition, which the rack and pinion has to adjust according to the hydraulic pressure. So I think that is also a part that has to be taken into consideration. Okay. So this is the electric power steering system, and based on horn. Horn is you actually this is the horn that comes with the company itself, and based on your frequency of pressing, you will be having a different kind of power transmitter. And radiator cooling fan. Yeah, radiator cooling fan. Actually, the updated Zen had 16 inches, but the Zen that I was concentrating had 12 inches. So I had measured it my own, and it was around 12 inches. And based on the size of the fan, the power also is different for how much it will consume. So this is 12-inch fan, so it consumes around 210 power watts. And the starter motor, definitely, as I told you, starter motor is an important fact which has to run the flywheel. So flywheel is a very big machine. It's the powerhouse of the engine which stores energy. And in order to move that part, you need lots and lots of energy and current and volt to pass through it. So starter motor takes nearly the greatest amount of power during the starting. That's why if you have noticed, during starting the battery's voltage comes very low because of the high amount of current that is being discharged, and followed by it should be recharged by the alternator. So this is the electrical loads characteristics that I have gone through. Next one is the type of loads. I'm just separating the type of load. Resistive load is basically the lightning system. Whenever lightning system comes, resistive loads will be there. And this was one of the cars to have 12-volt socket with a cigarette lighter. Mostly I have seen it. So that is also kind of resistive load. And capacitive load, this can have none of the capacitive load as far as I am concerned, because in present days only capacitive loads are like capacitive door handles will be there, where you don't have to insert the key to open the door. You just have to have the key fob in your pocket and just insert your finger between the door handles and it will automatically open. That is known as capacitive door handles, which means that there will be a continuous interface between the door handle and the car body, and it will be continuously moving, reflecting, and when you insert your hand in between, there comes a disturbance or interference, and due to which the vehicle door unlocks. Get my point? So that is the capacitive door handles. And next one is the capacitive touch screen that we used in modern entertainment system in cars, be it gesture control or be it touch control. Everything is like capacitive only. So in this car, since it's a very old car, this had no such type of things in there. So it has no capacitive loads as far as I have gone through. And inductive loads is definitely which involves solenoid actuator, horn, starter motor, wiper, heater blower control, as I told you, motor blower control, power windows motor, fuel pump motor, radiator fan, air conditioner. Everything comes into play with this kind of components. Okay, so that is what the inductive load is all about. Next one is the sum of the inductance load components. Like for the Maruti Zen that I have taken, this is the starter motor that I have taken for Budmo spare part shop. So what I done is many of the things were not available for this car. So I went through the spare markets, like what to say, website to get the what to say details of the cars based on it, because many of the things were not revealed by the company assets. So this is a power windows motor, blower motor control. You have radiator fan control, fuel pump, and as well to starter motor and wiper motor. Fuel pump. Then this is the solenoid switch which actuates the, as I told you, starter motors for these things and all, for starting of the vehicle and all. Solenoid. And we come to the battery specification. Battery specification, as I told you, this what to say, it has a nominal voltage of 12 volt, which is, and it is used as a lead acid battery, which is used in olden days. And nominal capacity was up to 35 amps. That is 12 volt, 35 amps was the capacity of the vehicle. Sorry, the battery that was used in the Zen. Maximum charging current was 10.5 amps, and discharge current was 1.75 amps within 5 seconds. That was the capability. Standard discharge current was definitely 35 amps, and power was around 420 watts. Weight of the battery was around 7 kgs, and product dimensions, as I told you, is given in centimeters, which is 16.5 into 12.5 and 17.5. So this is the basic characteristics of the battery specification. The one that I have shown here is the Amaron. Amaron 12 volt 35 amps, which is used in the Zen. That actually was seen in Zen that I used to take for this what is the assignment. And next one is alternator specification was nominal voltage was around 14.2 volts. Maximum charging current is around 45 amps at full load, and power is around 639 watts. Alternator. So alternator is the one that actually helps in charging the battery once the vehicle starts, because it will use a part of engine's output to convert that this thing to convert to actually capture that waste energy to charge the battery. Since alternator current definitely produce alternating current, so based on different speed of an engine, so an AC to DC converter is definitely required, so that the battery receives the exact amount of current that needs in a DC manner. There should be no alternating current passing through the battery. So this is the entire concept of the review one that I have considered. And as I told you, like Zen used to be a very famous vehicle in its area, I mean in its time and era, and due to what to say, like due to the upgraded technology and facelift kind of activities, it lost its credibility, and ultimately Estilo came, and that also didn't do well. That's why the company had to discontinue this particular model. So keeping because the demand reduced and everybody started focusing on, as I told you, Maruti Vegana. Vegana became a hit once the Zen actually started having a very tough time. So followed by that only everything went on. So this is a very good vehicle which had greater maneuverability and very ease of operating. The vehicle is very easy to drive, and it had enough space for 5 seater. It's very impossible to know that such a small car has 5 seater, because usually it should be 4 seater. But this car is a 5 seater, and believe me, this car can comfortably seat 5 people in average mass condition of the humans. That's what I'm saying. Average weighted humans can also sit 5 comfortably. So that is the concept of the entire presentation that I have taken. And thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.